Don't know if you can see, but you can see it right there. It's the #1 enemy of community gardens. You hear all that? It's ridiculous. It's cows and horses wandering around. It's really throwing rocks at them. We may edit that part out. So if you remember correctly, we own this property and we own the one right next to it. And so obviously long term, we want to build stuff there, and there's a bunch of different plans. I'm not going to get into that right now. But in the meantime, until we get to that point where we're ready to do that, we want to extend. We have a community garden on the property of the church, which is right across the street behind where I'm standing. And so we want to extend community garden projects to here and, you know, put it to use. Because we can't build yet. We're not at that place yet. But put it to use while we are waiting or whatever. So extend the project. So we need to cut it all down and get it all. We also need to put razor wire around it for that very reason that you just saw, because they'll wander in and eat everything up like they always do. You're probably wondering whose cows they are and whatever. I don't know. There's several different groups of cows that kind of just wander around and do whatever they want to do and destroy stuff and whatever. And it's not, I mean, it's a problem here. And horse is kind of the same thing. And so, yeah. So anyways, we'll have to enclose this in. And it's not that expensive. The cable actually is only like, what, $60 for 500 meters or something like that. So it's not bad. But the posts are actually pretty expensive, the wooden posts. And then you have to get the work done by somebody because they have to, you know, put tension on the cables and stuff like that. So anyways, that's what we're looking to do now, is extend that project across the street to over here and just utilize the space that we have, because otherwise it's just going to sit here empty waiting on us to build. And I mean, we're not ready to build yet. So anyways, yeah, that's the plan for that, in case you were wondering about the property and stuff anyway. So that's where we are, and that's what's going to happen here within the next few weeks. So it should be exciting stuff. So the problem with the cows and stuff, and horses as well sometimes, obviously, like I said, they eat up any plant that you have. Pretty much they'll destroy it. We planted yucca over there last year, 2 years ago, and they just came and just destroyed it. It was frustrating. But anyways, but also they're dangerous because, like, I mean, just now before I turned the camera on, they're charging at the dogs. They charged at Rudy the other day, like, you know, that type of stuff. And I mean, gratefully as Rudy and not a child, that gets trampled by some, you know, in his own yard or his own space, you know. Anyways, it's the whole thing frustrates me big time. But anyways, so yeah, we need to put a thing up, and it's kind of where we are now. So today, what I'm gonna do is one of the guys from the church called me this morning and asking could I go with him this morning. It is the anniversary of the passing of his wife. I don't know if I ever talked about it on here, I can't remember, or not, but they just live right over there, like the next block over. A couple years ago, one of our neighbors and friends and, you know, members of our church, she died just kind of unexpectedly and basically just didn't wake up one day. And so it was a whole thing. It's a whole story, and there was a lot to it. And our church was really able to bless them in the process, because he was out of town, just the kids were here alone and all this other stuff. And the state came to like take the kids because there was nobody, and we took the kids here. It was just for like a day or so, but like it was a whole thing. So anyways, we were able to do that. Our church was able to organize the funeral, and like got him a coffin, and like we're just community stuff, which is what we always talk about. And you know, we don't just talk about it. But anyways, so we were able to do all that, and so it was a terrible experience, obviously more for them than anybody, but equally and along, it brought them way closer to the church family and create, you know, like let them know like, hey, we can depend on these people. And it created somewhat of a beautiful relationship. And after that, you know, he had to go back to work, and they have a young daughter. I think she was 7 or 8 at the time, I can't remember, but she started coming over and staying with us at our house every day, all day, because it's in a pandemic, so they didn't have school and stuff like that. So she would stay at our house all day, every day, you know, sun up to sundown pretty much. We didn't talk much about it and didn't, you know, film and stuff. I don't know, just because there's a lot of nuance there. So anyways, he called me this morning and wants me to go. He wants to go and to, you know, to where she was, it's not buried, but like put him on the wall, mausoleum, I think is what it's called. I was going to go there with them and stuff, and just pray with them and stuff like that. So obviously wasn't going to say no to that. So then I'm going to do that. So I'm probably not going to film that for obvious reasons. I may film some from the graveyard. It's ahí? Yeah. I'll probably film some of the graveyard, what it looks like, but I'm not going to film the intimate moments or whatever. But anyways, he's here, so I'll hop in the car with him, and we'll see what we'll film today. All right, so you get here, this is like the cemetery. It has like this big kind of gaudy entrance, And you come out, they sell like candles and they sell flowers and stuff that you can leave at the, you know, gravesite or whatever. And so we'll go inside in a second. So you come in, there's the chapel right here. There's like gardens, and there's the garden and stuff like that in there. And then there's different mausoleums. So you can like rent out, or in this, I guess it's not rent out, you can buy like a whole like building thing by yourself to have your family in there. Like there's one right there, people hanging out up front there and there. Or you can put it in, like, you can put your loved one in the wall. And so, and I don't know all the correct terms for this guy, so I apologize. But here's a like fancier one. See, a big statue essentially of Jesus on the outside. And then there's the other ones. Yeah, and so like here's some nicer ones you can kind of, it's private, I guess you can say. There. And it just kind of walks down and go to the wall. All right, so here's the more normal ones. And so each one is obviously, you know, a mausoleum, and you slide the casket in, obviously, and then they seal it up right when you're there. And so, you know, obviously people bring flowers and stuff like that. The one we're going to visit is on the other side, which is why I'm filming here. I'm not going to, you know, film that. And so, yeah, that's more or less the idea of the way it is. And then people offer to come cut. There's a guy at the entrance, he was offering to cut the grass and stuff like that to keep it neat. You know, you pay all my guests to cut the space around yours. So, all right, so we're done over there, but you get different ones like this. So these guys were pilots, so they put a runway on the thing. All right, so we're back from the cemetery, and that was, you know, it's always interesting to go out there. I personally am not a visit the cemetery type of person. Just my personal, you know, whatever. Doesn't make it wrong for anybody else to do it, but when other people are going and whatever. This was a time, it was a really rough time for them, obviously, and we walked through it together as a church and stuff. And so today was the anniversary of her death, and so he wanted to put flowers and stuff out there, and you know, he asked me to join him, and you know, just, so I went out there to be with them and kind of support them and stuff like that. And so yeah, I mean, for what it is, it was a good time, you know. And then we went out and had milkshakes after and kind of just spent time together chatting and talking. So it was good. Because again, I don't live here anymore, so I don't, you know, get to spend time with these people on a daily basis anymore. And so it was good. And so, yeah, so now we're back. We're going to spend some time with the neighbors and have lunch and stuff like that. And then spend some more time with other neighbors. And then, yeah, and then tonight there's actually some people that we know from when we lived in Cochabamba years ago. And he actually just, by chance, just moved here. And he called me asking for a church that he could go to. So I think I know why. Anyways, so, and his family hasn't completely transitioned here yet. And this is a holiday weekend. It's, so they're here for the long holiday weekend, and they're going to spend time with him. And so, you know, they reached out and was like, hey, let's get something to eat. So we're going to go eat with them tonight. I'm going to introduce them to Simon and Rudy so they can connect with the church here, and hopefully it all works out. So that's what we're doing today. And then taking it easy this evening before tomorrow, before church and stuff. So.